Welcome everybody to the Bluewater factory. Today we are on their brand new Bluewater 36 model, taking a look at this all new redesign. This boat is huge. You guys have to hop aboard for this exclusive walkthrough aboard the brand new 36.
Well, I know how you want it to seem, but we'll watch as it all plays out. From the crest of the wave that we broke upon and pulled you back into the sea, all the way down. Why'd it take all our life to explain that it's more beautiful when you're here? I remember the light when it turned around and revealed all the truth, no escape, point blank.
As always, we're going to go ahead and start in the bow of this massive boat. Now, a quick disclaimer before we make this video, as I like to be fully transparent with my viewers, I am not being paid as Livin Salty to make this walkthrough video, but I do actually work for Bluewater Boats now. So we're doing a full walkthrough of this boat, and I've seen a lot of the build process, so I have a really unique behind the scenes look at this build. So all the way in the front, we are going to have our anchor locker. We actually have a Fortress style anchor in there right now. This is going to be a fully finished box, which is super nice because not a lot of manufacturers actually fully finish their anchor locker. So it's nice, it kind of protects everything in there. On this boat is actually sold to the customer. So hull number one here was made for this customer. So you'll see some really custom features on this boat that aren't necessarily standard to the 36, but the first customer decided to add. So we're gonna have wash down stations, so both fresh and salt water up here in the anchor locker, along with deep drop outlets. So you can kind of see it right over there and on the port side as well. Super cool to have that kind of access all the way up here in the bow, and you'll see a couple more throughout the boat. We're going to close this on up, and one thing I'll point out while we're up here is you're going to notice that Bluewater went with all screwless, or as much screwless options as they possibly can. So you're going to see all of our hinges that are up here on top of the ring are going to be screwless for our anchor locker hatch. Our pop-up bow cleats, which pop up like that, are all going to be studded and screwless. Our rod holders over here are screwless rod holders. Our cup holders don't have screws. So as many places as they could avoid screws, they did while building this boat. Equipped on this 36 is going to be a Kraken 110 trolling motor. Look at the size of this trolling motor. It is absolutely massive and is really essential when trying to bottom fish and hold yourself on a spot when fishing on this massive boat. It's going to be on an extra large sea swivel plate there as well. This boat has the top of the line speaker package that they offer on the 36 model, which is going to include 4 speakers up here in the bow. So you're going to have JL's M6 8.8-inch speakers on the top and then 7.7s below it. You're going to have the same thing on the starboard side as well. You're going to see these little knobs over here. It's not installed yet, but this is going to be for a removable bow seating option. It's not installed right now, but the customer did decide to get it. It will be fully removable bow seating, which will be super nice once it's on the boat. Now this is a huge boat, guys. It measures 35 feet 9 inches overall, and you guys can really see it, especially when walking up here in the bow. There is just so much room to walk around, fish, store things. You're going to see it throughout this whole boat. And up here we are also going to have some nice bolsters going around with the Bluewater logo, and then a little low profile bow rail here to really hold on. I've gone some sea trials with this thing in some rough seas, and you end up really holding on to this bow rail, and it really comes in handy. Now we are going to have a lot of in-floor hatches on this boat. Let's start with our huge coffin. And you guys have seen I reviewed the 25T Bluewater and the 2850, and I'll stand by, they have some of the biggest in-floor hatches of any center consoles on the market, and this 36 is no exception. There's a little bit of water in here just because they just cleaned it, but look at the size of this box. You guys can see how tiny I am in here. I mean, you can even sit down a little bit. It's absolutely massive. It's really unreal. And we do have a little bit of rod storage also in here. So that folds over just like that through magnets, and your rod tips go through these tubes up in the front. And when you close up this hatch, This latch that's right here is actually a locking latch. So that way you can go ahead, go to the Bahamas and lock up your rods for the weekend. You don't have to lug them up and down into a hotel room. You can keep them stowed away inside this box. Now on the port and starboard side, we're gonna have some more fish boxes. Here we are. Now, similar to the coffin box, these are also gonna have the rod storage here, and these are also going to be locking boxes as well. So these make a great fish box and also great storage. Now I would love to be able to sit on the lounger for you guys right now, but the cushions are currently off because just some caulking on the windshield is drying, so they have to remain off. But I'll throw some B-roll on the screen now of what this lounger looks like with all the cushions. It is super comfortable to sit in and is an absolute great feature and a change from the old 35 model to the all new 36. One of the best parts about this lounger is you can open it up and get a ton of insulated fish box storage. This is probably one of my favorite features on this boat. I'm a big sucker for these loungers, and they definitely did it right here. So we're gonna have the lounger, the Bluewater name underneath on like a marine mat. You're gonna have a divider here that's gonna be fully removable, so that way you can use it all as one big box, or you could separate maybe your lunches or something on one side and fish or bait on the other. You're also gonna have little recesses over here for 5-gallon buckets, so you can throw your deep drop leads or something in there and they won't slide around. Overall, it's just a great feature to have on a boat. So as we make our way back towards the console, you're gonna notice we have these kind of like pillars over here in the middle. We are going to have one more speaker under here, and the customer opted for a hose holder. So this is a hose rack with a 25-foot hose on it, mounted on the port start and the starboard side as well, which means you do have access to your fresh and salt water here at midship, and you also have another deep drop outlet as well. Super cool, so that makes 4 washdowns and 4 deep drop outlets so far on this boat. Moving on to the console here, we have this really big oversized door, which is actually gonna be pretty neat. So if you notice, there's a little break in the door about 1/4 of the way down. So when you open up this door, the first bit, you'll notice it opens up by about 75% of the door. Now this leaves for a nice big opening. You guys can see I'd be able to jump right in there. But if you have some luggage you want to put there, or you're just really loading down the cabin for a trip, you can actually come back here, and there's 2 latches. So one right here, I need 2 hands to do it, one right here. So flip those latches, we're able to open up the door the rest of the way. And it's on friction hinges, so that's why it looks a little difficult to do. So that's really nice. Now look how big this door opening is. It's absolutely massive. Great for just loading down this cabin with storage. But let's go ahead and hop on in and show you guys the inside. All right, down inside the cabin. And I always say this in my videos, I am 5'10", and you guys can see I am nowhere near hitting my head. You probably have another at least foot of clearance, I'd say, above me. So maybe not a whole foot, maybe like 3/4. I don't know, you got like 8 inches above my head. If you're tall, you can fit in this cabin, is what I'm trying to say. So it looks like this customer opted for a marine electric head. Very cool. If you look right here, we're going to have our amps for our premium audio system there. And they actually put this really nice acrylic cover here that has the Bluewater logo in it. Just a nice little touch to kind of block the amps. So that way if you have a kid or something in here and he's, doing his thing, he doesn't actually like rip out a plug out of the amp. So I think that was kind of cool to actually add that cover in. Let's take a look at what we got hiding behind here. So this hatch right behind the toilet, you guys can look inside, is going to be your battery compartments, nice and easily accessible. And if you look inside behind there, we're going to have our freshwater tank. We got some of the charging systems, and you guys can get a first look at some of the wiring here on this Bluewater. Now on the aft side of the cabin, we do have this big old access hatch. It looks like just a little bit of plumbing you'll be able to get over here. Now this boat does actually have AC, so they're gonna have a vent here and at the console, which you'll see in a minute. But this is the control for the AC as well, and you can see some of the ductwork. Very cool switch panel here. You got the Bluewater logo, very neat. You're gonna be able to see everything, all your voltage and everything on this electronics screen. Very cool. This does actually have the brand new wireless Yamaha joystick. If you guys haven't seen this, it's super cool. Basically, you can drive your boat at like an idle speed from anywhere on the boat. So how a joystick, the new joysticks will work at the Helm, you could do that, but anywhere around the boat. So it's super cool if you're gonna be like docking by yourself at a restaurant. You can kind of like pull up to the dock but not be at the helm. It's kind of cool, to be honest, but it's basically a remote control boat at that point. So pretty cool feature, and it's here on the 36. Now we'll get an access to some of the wiring on this boat. So we're gonna have a ton of electronics on this boat, which we'll talk about. So they had to cram a lot of wiring into here, but let's take a look. Bluewater prides themselves in their good wiring, so you guys can see it here firsthand. Everything should be labeled in here and buttoned up nicely. There's a lot of AC ductwork in here that's taking up a lot of room, but go ahead and flip this open. You're gonna have access to some more wiring. Take a look on in here. Looks like everything is labeled. Like I said, a lot of electronics on here, so there's definitely a lot going on, but it looks like they did a pretty good job managing all of this in here. We're gonna have a lithium solid state battery in here as well that's powering the house. There's supposed to be another battery in here, but it's not there right now. And with these, we are going to climb right back out of the cabin. Whew, it's a little hot in there today. All right, making our way to the helm, my favorite part of any boat. As you guys know, this helm is going to be massive and fully redesigned here for the 36. New console, new leg set, new console face. All very impressive. We'll start off by this massive 3-panel windshield. This is a real glass windshield in here, and it's a little bit dirty right now. It's just got to be cleaned, but there's tons and tons of room up here to throw all your belongings. We'll see there's something up there real quick we'll be checking out. But it is a really clean dash setup. We're taking a look at the electronics here. So these are going to be twin Garmin 19-inch screens. These things are massive and really fill out the dash really nicely. We're going to have the Bluewater switch panel right below it with all the accessories. Super nice to see all labeled on there. We're going to have a nice matte black wheel to kind of match the whole vibe of the boat. We're going to have a cup holder on the port side for the captain. That's pretty neat. Seakeeper Ride Yamaha gauges, wireless phone charger. We're going to have the joystick as well. Some extra cup holders. Here's going to be your AC vent I was talking about. One here on the port side, one on the starboard as well. And you are going to have your VHF command mic over here. And hidden underneath, we're actually going to have a glove box that you really can't see unless you're really looking for it. And this is going to be a great spot for your captain to put all of his belongings. All right, let's talk about our helm seats, because these are a real eye catcher here on this boat. They have really nice stitching, very nice pattern, little carbon fiber blue accents on there. Looks super nice, looks comfortable, and is very spacious as well. So we're going to have some bolster seating. You guys can see, nice. So if you're going to sit down or stand up, comfortable both ways. We will flip it down and we'll hop up and take a seat. Now we are going to have folding armrest on the side, which you guys will see this customer actually opted for real teak accents. So it's almost like a black or dark blue accent. Very nice on the armrest. And Bluewater considers this helm seat to be like a 2.5 seater. So you guys can see I can pretty much fit 3 of me very comfortably. But this middle seat here is going to be good for like maybe a child or just a smaller person. And you could fold down this as an armrest, a cup holders in the middle if you like, if it's just the 2 of you, or flip it up if you want to squeeze a whole bunch of people on here. But you really feel pretty locked in here. You could put your feet up on the dash, which is nice. Or you also have these folding footrest down here, so you can put your feet down on that folding footrest. That's going to be my eye level. Very comfortable here on a 36-foot boat. Now I gave you a little sneak peek before, but this customer opted for a stand-through second station on this boat. So up in the hardtop, that's going to be our accent. I'll show you guys real quick how we are going to hop up in there. So we're going to have our fold-down footrest. We're going to hop on this. We're going to hop on the dash, and we're going to sit our way up right over here. With ease, we'll be able to turn this window up and push it across and fold it back down. Nice and easy. And now we have access to our second station. And we'll go ahead and hop right up. Voila, now we are driving our second station. There's Senior Salty all the way down there. You guys can picture a nice big blue sea around us, chasing some mahi offshore like we were this weekend. And this would be absolutely the best place on the boat to be, in my opinion. So up here, we're gonna have another tilt helm wheel, which is nice, our Yamaha controls, another VHF command mic, nice little touch to have that up there. Seakeeper Ride controls, a little 9-inch Garmin. Overall, super nice. Everything looks like super good quality. You have a nice little seat to hop up on over here. We're going to have rod holders and cup holders. While we're up here, you can see they went with a 24-inch Garmin dome radar. We're going to have antennas on the side, everything with upgraded hardware. So you're going to have higher end Gemlocks outriggers over here, and our antenna mount's going to be super nice there by Gemlocks as well. You can put your feet up on here and you can hop your way up just like so. Nice and easy. Now we're up here sitting. You could probably sit up here and drive if it's a calmer day, but if you're in some rougher seas, you're definitely going to be wanting to stand while driving. Hopping out of the second station is going to be just as easy as it was to get in. So I'll take pop a squat there, slide this window back down, just like that, and then click in place, and it's all closed and secured. Just to hop down, we step on this little foot pad here, hold on to the leg set, and hop on down. And right here, since I didn't point it out before, we have a real nice Helm plaid with the Bluewater logo and a kick plate as well. Alrighty, making our way from the Helm over here towards the stern of the boat. We'll start by these little pop-out boxes that we have on the port and starboard side. We're going to fit 6 tackle boxes on each side of these pop-outs with a little cubby next to it as well. That is a ton of tackle box storage, and it's only just getting started there. On our leaning post here, we're going to have this nice acrylic piece with a subwoofer actually recessed into it, which I will say, I've never really seen that before in any boats, to have it recessed like this. Super cool, so it's not sticking out. Underneath that, we're gonna have a drawer, very nice. And on the starboard side, we're gonna have a tilt-out box with 2 more tackle boxes in it. And on the port side, we're actually going to have a fire extinguisher holder. And it looks like on the port and starboard side, we're going to have more speakers for this package. We're going to have an 8.8 up top and a 7.7 below it. So behind the leaning post here, we are going to have what I call it a 6th leg. So you're going to have the 4 legs of the leg set, and then you're going to have 2 more coming down from the back of the hardtop to the leaning post. So it's super nice, and you get to have a bunch of rod holders on there as well. Fully customizable if you want, but we are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up here as well. Guys, if you don't know, Bluewater is a semi-custom manufacturer. So if you guys see something you don't like, they're pretty much willing to make whatever you want happen within reason. So this customer wanted this setup for their rod holders and their leaning post and their gunnels. That's the way he wanted, that's how he had it. If you guys have something else in mind, when you talk to them, they'll be able to help you and get you situated with what you want. So we're gonna have this super nice like pistol grip style handles over here, which is pretty sweet. We're gonna have some rod holders here. So this center rod holder right here is actually moved forward just a little bit. So if you want to troll a shotgun line down the middle, the upholstery is not going to be in the way of the reel. So nice that they thought of that little fishing feature there. Super clean leaning post, all made out of fiberglass with a little toe kick underneath. So you have room to walk around, it just feels even bigger. Now behind the leaning post, we're gonna have this really nice cushion, which is great to just lean against and look back while you're fishing. You can watch all your lines while standing very comfortably. And this customer opted for a fold-out seat. So look at that fold-out seat. See, I did that with one hand with ease. Super clean install they did on this, and very comfortable to just sit here. You can fit 2 people very easily and sit here and watch your lines instead, or maybe have a conversation if they got a transom seat in the back of the boat, just hanging out. Inside this leaning post, and we kind of just went through everything, you never even know, there's actually a Seakeeper 3 gyro inside this leaning post right now. So that's something really cool that they put on this boat, and really helps with the stabilization out there in the ocean. Just when you think this is just an ordinary backrest here, Bluewater went one step further, and this is super cool. You pull it down, and it's actually a hideaway tackle center underneath here, held on by magnets. Very cool. You're able to lock this up as well. We'll open it up and show you guys around. So you're gonna have some leader spool holders on the side with the kind of like cubbies. In the middle, you're gonna have like your traditional sinker and hook storage. And then on the bottom, you're going to have a pull-out drawer. And this is gonna be like a cutting board here on top, or just kind of like a rigging station for yourself. And you can flip it on open, and you have more drawer storage right in there. So you can use that drawers for whatever you like. Very cool. Love the idea of like a hideaway tackle center. So if you have any kind of valuables, even if you have just high-end, I don't know, jewelry or something like that, that you're looking to just store on the boat while you're getting off it to go eat at a restaurant, hide it in your hideaway tackle center here. Very nice feature on this boat. So one of the cool things about this Bluewater 36 that kind of sets it apart from other 36-foot boats in this market is how far forward the console is. So if you put this side by side with other 36s, the console is going to be more further forward, which is going to put less fishing room in the front, but even more fishing room in the cockpit, where I believe is much needed. So just take a look at how massive this area is to absolutely just walk around, fish, do anything. I mean, you just have so much room back here, and it really helps when they push the console forward to give this extra space. Want to point that out because it's really something special about this 36 compared to others on the market. But let's go ahead and dive into some of these hatches because you guys can see we have 6 hatches in the floor over here. Let's go check them out. First up on our in-floor hatch, we're going to open up the center one, which there is some water in there right now, but this is going to be a live well, and it is a massive, I believe, 68-gallon live well. It is absolutely huge, so you could fit whatever you want in that. You can even fit your kids if they get hot for the day and they don't want to swim in the ocean, fill it up and let them go for a swim in your in-floor live well. That is insane. Let's go underneath us here real quick. This box on the port and starboard side are going to be insulated fish boxes. All the boxes here on all Bluewater's boats are actually all finished and all insulated. So you can store fish in any one you want, which is pretty neat. This is a massive fish box. I'm not sure if you guys can tell the size. Maybe I'll just lie down next to it. It's probably about a 5-foot fish box, I'd say. Fully finished, like I said, super nice. Definitely where I'd be keeping my fish for the day. Now, towards the aft, we are going to have 2 more storage boxes, identical on the port and starboard side. You guys can take a look in here, another finished box. This one's not really meant for fish. This one's going to be more of dry storage. It's going to be for your like bumpers and dock lines and stuff like that. And in the middle here, we are going to have a giant bilge access. So let's take a look on in here. This is where you're really going to see the difference in quality between manufacturers. It's going to be taking a look at the electronics inside the console and in the bilge. It's really going to make a big difference. So let's take a look in here. You're going to have macerators, fuel water separators. You're going to have freshwater pumps, saltwater pumps. We're going to have a sea chest over here with the Bluewater logo engraved into it. A manifold system here for that sea chest. We're going to have a light. The batteries aren't on, but it would turn on to let you see a little bit better in here. And look how far back that bilge goes. It is massive. We got dual bilge pumps in here. I mean, there's just a lot going on. But if you guys do notice, everything looks neat, tidied up very nicely. Everything's going to be double hose clamped on here. And if you do notice, they actually put little covers on the end. So when you are working on this boat in the bilge, you don't have to worry about scraping your hand on these sharp hose clamp ends. They put little covers, and you'll see them everywhere, these little blue dots. Something really unique that you really don't see that kind of attention to detail on many other boats out there. Now on the port and starboard side of this boat, underneath the gunnels, you guys can see we have these, I think we've seen these in another walkthrough video recently, but these new style like Gemlux, like brush holders. So instead of like the old traditional style, your brush is going to go ahead and just slip on in here and hold in your rods or brushes, whatever you're storing. And it's going to hold it a little bit tighter so it's not bouncing around as much. So that's a neat feature. Glad to be using those on this new boat. We have a pad here to protect the gunnel here in case your reels are sitting here. It doesn't bang against the side. And on the transom, we're going to have more speakers. So we're going to have a 7.7 speaker here on the port and starboard side. We're going to have another deep drop outlet and another freshwater and saltwater washdown. So that's going to bring 6 deep drop outlets, 6 freshwater / saltwater washdowns. So that's all of them. There's 6 of them on this boat. And anywhere you are, you're going to be able to wash down your boat or plug in a deep drop rod. Pretty cool. Making our way towards the transom of this boat, we are going to have our live well over here, which is going to be a 60-gallon live well, massive, and even has the Bluewater logo etched into it. Take a look at how big this is. Very, very impressive. And on the port side, we are going to have our sink. They have a little cutting board on the side and a little sink well on the other side. Very nice. You can have your dead bait in one side and keep your live bait in the other. Let's go ahead and talk the power package on this boat. This customer equipped it with triple 350 Yamaha V6s. So this boat flies. I know they were getting over 60 miles an hour. I believe it was topping out about 63 with the hardtop and everything on. They did some testing without the hardtop and they hit 67. That's a little conservative with the props just to make it a little bit more efficient getting out of the hull. So you probably can squeeze a little bit more top end, but it is rated up to triple 425 Mercs. So I know they really want to see somebody to do that. That would be pretty sweet. Now while we're back here, we're going to take a look. There is a lot of room to walk around back here in case you're diving or swimming off the back. which is very nice. Everything's neat. But we also have a rod rack back here. So you're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rods on a transom rod rack, just even more storage for your rods on this boat. Now, one thing that is super neat is that Bluewater calls this boat a 4-piece boat. So you'll hear a lot of people talk 2-piece or 3-piece boats. Well, there are 4 individual fiberglass pieces that go into this boat. Your stringer grid, opposed to being Cusa board like the rest of their models, is going to be a fiberglass stringer grid that gets dropped inside of the hull before they pop the hull. So the hull is your first piece, the stringer grid's your second, the third is your deck, and the ring on top is your fourth. So it's a 4-piece boat, which is pretty cool. Before we get into the price, Bluewater has Seakeeper Ride standard on all their boats, and the 36 is no exception here. They're going to have the Seakeeper Ride quad system, which is only on a couple boats, and it really helps, if you guys don't know, with the bow coming up and down while you're running and going side by side, and it actually works in sync now with the gyros. So very cool feature to have on this boat. It really helps enhance the ride of a good boat, good riding boat, I like to say. Now let's dive into the moment I'm sure you guys have all been waiting for, the price of this Bluewater 36. Now the starting at price with this boat, without the electronics, standard with the Seakeeper Ride, and triple Suzuki 300s can be yours for $525,000. This boat is a super high-end, semi-custom build, and it is top-notch quality, guys. Start to finish, they put a lot of work into making this boat the absolute best they possibly can, and it really shows on the final product. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you agree with me? But thank you so much, guys, for watching this exclusive walkthrough here at the Bluewater factory of their brand new 36. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit the like button. Definitely consider subscribing down below. I'm gonna go ahead and make another walkthrough video I think you're really gonna like over here on the left side of the screen. Until my next video, remember to keep living salty.